Dude, look at this, like, situation that I've got going on here. Today we're talking about the rune of silent death because we want those ancient Swift runes. As if Swift runes weren't good enough. Now you can get them with a little glow around them and a potential for higher base stats. So that means a higher minimum and a potentially higher maximum. So if you're sitting around with 100 dimension energy, there is no excuse anymore because today we're talking about a free-to-play starter team for Khalderun level 5. I seriously do need a free-to-play solution to this. That wasn't just like a bit. Enough about me and more about the ancient guardian of Khalderun. This guy is kind of difficult. Every time he attacks you, he's gonna heal. And he also tries to apply this thing called Aura of Death. And the more stacks of that you have on you, increases the damage you receive and decreases the amount of damage you deal. And the only way to get rid of that is through healing. So we're gonna have to incorporate some of that into our team structure while also adhering to the restriction of the dimension, which is related to having monsters of each type. With that in mind, let's get straight into the team so that way you can start getting those juicy ancient runes, grinds, and gems. Starting us off, it's Verd, the fire vampire, who's managed to finagle his way into like every single video that I've released recently. I don't know how he's done that. Maybe the dude's the GOAT. I don't know. Verd is our leader with a 28% speed lead in dungeons. He's also here to boost our attack bar, but for once in his life, the fact that he heals on skill 1 actually matters, because that means he can reduce the amount of stacks on his Aura of Death on his own turn when he attacks with skill 1. As if Verd couldn't get any better. He's also going to be functioning as one of our primary damage dealers, so you're going to want to rune him on Rage. The same way that you had him runed for Trickery is going to work here. So Rage, 100% crit rate, and as much crit damage as you can get onto him. Next, it's our other main damage dealer, Shaman, the Light Griffin. Now normally, Shaman is a lot harder to get, but at the time of recording, we just got 200 of those 10th anniversary scrolls, and so a lot of people have come into ownership of a lot of LD 3 stars. So if you got Shaman, that's a huge win, and you should second awaken him as soon as possible. Not only does he heal everybody on skill 1, he has max HP damage scaling on skill 2, and his passive increases the amount of damage dealt to dark bosses, and this guy is dark. Would you look at that? He's also a defense type, so he's going to take up that slot on our team. I don't think I mentioned it before, but Verd is an attack type, and so is like Lauren, so that means no Lauren on this list, which is a dang shame because I think she would have made things easier, but not as much as Verd. Shaman is also going to want to be on Rage. I have him ruined on attack, crit damage, HP. He has a pretty fast base speed at 111, so you should have enough speed in the substats. The trouble is actually making sure that he's slow enough to go behind your defense breaker. And speaking of defense break, it's time we talk about your options. First of all, there's Vigor, the water werewolf, and Joltan, the dark werewolf. Strictly speaking, if you happen to have access to Joltan, you should probably run that. His passive says that he reflects 12% of his max HP as damage whenever he receives a critical hit. He also defense breaks every time he attacks. And that's just super helpful, to be honest. He also has heal block on skill 1 to prevent the boss from healing whenever he attacks you. The alternate choice for that is Vigor, the water werewolf, who does have a heal on skill 2. He has a 3-turn defense break on skill 3 and heal block on skill 1. And Vigor really wants to be on violent, so that way you have that chance to proc and get your cooldowns back faster. So that way if he burns his skill 3 too early, you'll get it back sooner rather than later. Joltan allows for more room for error, though I understand that he's a little bit more difficult to get, and asking people to have both Shaman and Joltan for this team can kind of be a lot. So I'm happy to report that either of them can be good here, but if you have Joltan, you should probably use him. Due to the nature of his passive, you'll want Joltan on speed, HP, HP. He is also an HP type. So now we've got our attack, our defense, our HP, and now we're gonna add our support. And that is Riley, the Wind Totemist. Riley's here because she has access to tons of healing on 3 different skills, her 1st, 3rd, and 4th. That attack buff doesn't hurt either. We need lots of healing. If you don't have a ton of healing, things can go south. Riley's going to keep the team afloat and keep that Aura of Death off of us. Ideally, you'd like Riley to move first, and you want her to be fast and tanky, so that way she can apply the attack buff before anybody else moves. After that, Joltan will go to set up defense break, then Shaman for huge damage, and lastly, it's Verd, so you can make full use of the 40% attack bar that he provides. So there you go, that's the team. Let me know if you have any units that you like to sub in. I've heard of some people using Cocky instead of Verd. He also also heals on skill 1 and he offers a defense break. I could totally see you going for something like that if you don't have a Jolt hand and you're going for the version of the team with Vigor instead, so you have more consistent access to that defense break. So the team would look something akin to Vigor, Cocky, Riley, and Shaman. In that case though, you'd probably just have to use Shaman's leader skill. Hope y'all have a great day. Stick around because I'll be doing more of this series to complete the level 5 of each rune dungeon within the Dimension Hole. Have a great one. See y'all next time. Bye-bye.